Hi, this is Clarity Coach Lucy, and this is Tuesday Talks at 3. Welcome to episode 3 of the Abundance of April series. This is a series that focuses on you and your abundance. Now, in episode 1, it was all about enhancing your personal growth. And this was through doing things differently and trusting your instinct. Just being able to do that. Those two things were about enhancing your personal growth towards abundance. Now, in episode 2, it was a little bit different. We were creating a positive change. And in fact, the emphasis was on creating at least one positive change so that you can grow towards your abundance. So what is that one positive change that you could have made in your life, in your daily sphere, in your influence where you are right now? Well, it was about calibrating. And calibrating literally meant going back to your priorities and looking at them again and figuring out how you could shift a few things and be able to create a positive change. And I do hope that you were able to do this exercise and go back to those important aspects of your life and be able to figure out in which one can you be able to apply at least one positive change. And in this last 1 week that you have tried it, you have tested it, and you can actually testify that it does work. Well, in this series of Abundance of April, there are actually 4 episodes, and now we've done 2. Today we get to do the third one, which is on thinking motivational thoughts with living on autopilot. So in today's episode, we are seeking abundance thinking. We are seeking abundance through our thinking. So there's a question here, and somebody asked me this. Lucy, okay, I think we are back. Yes, so the next question that I was being asked was simply, is it the same as positive thinking? Or is it the same as the quotes? You know, we get a lot of these quotes. And that got me thinking, because it could easily be the same, but not really. In fact, when we talk about positive thinking and we talk about the quotes that we get every morning or sharing with friends or things that we use to help one another, those are about shaping our attitudes and shaping our thinking. That's what they are. So positive thinking kind of helps us to shape our attitudes, or so to speak. However, what motivates us is very unique. What will motivate me and what motivates you are two totally different things. We may be in the same difficult situation, but what will motivate Lucy to get out of it is really personal. It's literally not the same as what would motivate somebody else to get out of the very same situation. And it is in identifying what works for you that the magic happens. And it's got to be about you, because those which are most effective for you are the ones that keep you going. Because you may have certain motivational thoughts that even as you apply, they don't move you from those thoughts into action. And that's because they're not yours. It doesn't work for you. Scientifically, it is proven that things will only work for me where I am seeing value, where I am seeing buy-in. So maybe that one thing that's important to you is not important to me. And that is why it will not be a motivational thought for me if I was to take yours and copy and paste. Now, it was Albert Einstein who said, in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. So right now you could be in a very difficult situation. And difficult, again, is very relative. What you find difficult and what I find difficult, again, are two different things. That is the relativity of it all. And therefore it follows that motivational thoughts also would be different from one person to another. Anyway, back to Albert Einstein. When he said this, in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity, It is an inspiring quote that impresses upon us to think beyond the immediate circumstance, to think beyond that difficult situation that you are in, that we are calling, that area of difficulty, and to think about that opportunity. And somebody might say, how? You might just ask, how? Well, the first thing you need to do is, as you're thinking outside this difficulty and looking at the word opportunity, you want to look at how this situation is providing you with a positive outcome, with a gift, with a present. It's like a diamond in the rough. Now, if you have heard this saying, diamond in the rough, or this text, if you have read it, it simply means that, when you have this diamond, there's all this rock, and we want to imagine it's dirty rock or it's rough rock out there. And underneath this rock is this beautiful gift. But for you to get there, you have to refine this rock. Either you have to blast it, or you have to sand it down, or you have to refine it, or you have to treat it to heat. Whatever it is some intense treatment that is required of this rock for you to get to that gift. So we go back to us looking at a difficult situation. If we were able to apply some intensity to it, intensity of, in quotes, heat, intensity of, in quotes, refining, of blasting it, these are the things we're doing to ourselves. We are refining, we are recalibrating, we are reevaluating ourselves in the situations that we are in, so that we can come up with the gift that this difficult situation is giving us. So the question again is, what difficult situation are you in? And maybe you could just drop it here in the chat and we could sample it so that we could see whether we could apply the test of the diamond in the rough. If you feel shy to do that, you can always direct message me and we could have a chat outside this. We call it the discovery session between you and I, so that we can see your diamond in the rough. We can see where the gift is and how to get there. So just for a moment in the answering of the how do I go about this, Lucian, so that we can be able to understand even deeper. Just for a moment, think about a success that you are enjoying at this moment. Yes, there's definitely a success that you are enjoying. Think about it. And to help you along, it could be you finally landed that contract. It could be that a project has come to an end. It could be that there's an assessment that you've finally done, completed, and you're on the other side of it. It could be a pitch. I'm a salesperson and we do a lot of pitches. It could be a pitch that you managed to nail successfully. And now you're getting conversions as a result of it. And this is your measurement of success. So just for a moment, think about that success. And I just would like to suggest to you that it wasn't always the case. Maybe as you started doing this pitch, you felt you were not good enough. You felt you were not enough. You felt that you were not educated enough. You didn't have the information, that you were not made up to do this. And you just felt perhaps you didn't have the words or the content. You doubted yourself. We're so good at this. And you just spiral from one thought. It just spirals you into this rabbit hole. Maybe that's what it was, but today you're successful for having gone through that pitch. It could be that project. And when you started off with the project, you were looking and saying, I don't have the resources. I don't have the capability. I don't have the know-how. And you were looking at the things that you did not have, as opposed to the gift that this project was presenting you, or this contract was presenting you. So the success was not always the case. You needed to start somewhere which was perceived as a difficult situation. You can see now it's a perception. Because now that you have the success, what was so difficult about it is what you're asking yourself. But at that point, it was very valid. You felt that you were not up to it for one reason or the other. Just one reason or the other. But then you ended up doing it. And as you did it, you just want to think about all those thoughts that came to you. What thoughts went through your mind and what kept you going? Because despite not feeling good enough, what kept you going? These are the motivational thoughts we're talking about. And it's nothing about being positive and having positive thinking or having quotes that can help you. It's nothing about that. Oh, I can see why Raymond Joroge, you have added here that I've had that feeling like I don't have enough to offer. Oh, yes, that's what I'm talking about. We are doubting ourselves. Yet I'm very sure, Wairimu, you have a success story somewhere here today. A success story that perhaps you don't even put much value to it because it's already done and gone. The thrill of the chase has happened and you're holding success and you're moving on to the next frontier. And now you're feeling like you don't have enough to offer. So I wanted to go back to one of those successes of yours and just take yourself through the thoughts that we're going through. So what do you know now about yourself that was not apparent at that time? This is the beautiful thing about motivational thoughts. Because suddenly you begin to realize I was driven by these texts or contexts or words or thoughts that kept me going. So Wairimu, I just encourage you to go back to one of your successes and go through then that thought process. Yeah? What do you know about yourself now that was not apparent to you before? What is it? And just have a look at it. So I'm going to take you through two main things that have worked for me. The first one is my own motivational thoughts. My own, not somebody else's, because it is unique to me. And then secondly is the prompts, the different prompts that I had, which one was speaking, the other one was visual. Those are the two things that really worked for me, my own motivational thoughts. So I created a tool by the name of Kutabiri. Now, Kutabiri is a Kiswahili word, and Kutabiri means to predict or to have foresight or to prophesy, to project. Kutabiri is talking about something in the future. So I use this in my training, Kutabiri. My training is called Awakening Self. And why do I use this? I use it in a unit to help my clients to create their own motivational thoughts. And if you'd like to know more about Awakening Self, you just need to direct message me here on IG Live and I'll share the details with you. But moving on from there, Kutabiri then helps my clients be able to come up with statements for themselves to help them have these motivational thoughts. I use this tool whenever I am training. So let me give you something else to help you understand Kutabiri and how it works. So suppose, for example, you're in a difficult situation. Right now you're experiencing something and like Wairimu says, you feel like you don't have enough to offer. And so you don't feel like dealing with it. You want to just shelve it and let it be because it's not your portion at this moment. Well, Kutabiri as a tool helps you to play around with the idea of opportunity coming from difficulty. So in Wairimu's case, where she's saying that she feels that, she doesn't have enough to offer, now Wairimu, you are encouraged to look around the idea of opportunity coming from difficulty. Somehow the focus now begins to move from the difficult situation, the circumstance that you have at hand, to the opportunity. And Kutabiri helps you to shift your mindset in this way. It pulls you out of your slump to think about yourself in the future. Think about yourself in the future as successful at the completion of this difficult situation, at the culmination of it where now there is success. Like as if you're explaining to your friend how you turned a difficult situation into an advantage. This is how you create your own motivational thoughts. This is what keeps you going. Yeah? Now, Wairimu, you have another comment here. You say, the self-doubt was a feeling that distracted me from my actual value. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. I have a lot to offer, and so I have been complimented. I'm happy I didn't listen to that self-doubting voice. Perfect. And that is a great example. And not only have you now slain the self-doubt, you have slain the self-doubt, you have affirmed yourself. You now have a toolbox with motivational thoughts, because I'm very sure, Wairimu, there were certain thoughts that you were saying to yourself that kept on moving. Whether you were saying, hush, self-doubt, I don't believe you. Or whether you were saying, self-doubt, that is you and your things. I got my own things going on right now and I'm going ahead to conquer. Or whether you were saying, you are a liar, self-doubt. I am a true believer in my capabilities and I have a whole list of my successes that I've done before because I know what I'm made up of. Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. Well, just talking about motivational thoughts of your own, it may be inspiring for you to imagine yourself being interviewed. Some of us love to be interviewed. We love to be in that space where we are sharing our experiences to help others. And we're not shy about it. Whether we have failed, whether we have succeeded, we are not shy about it because we believe that we are offering another person a teachable moment, another person an opportunity to grow. So someday, somehow, you are being interviewed, how you have overcome this difficult time. Now, the thoughts that work for you are the thoughts that you need to be thinking, because those are motivational thoughts. They are your own. And making it your own means that you're experimenting with a few motivational thoughts so that you can use it as your own recipe, your own homemade recipe. Well, one of my favorite motivational thoughts is helping to build one another. And the other one is teachable moments. You already heard me say it a few minutes earlier. And why do these work for me? When I'm in a situation where I feel I have no drive and I cannot do what I continue doing, for instance, if I am unable today to come on to Tuesday Talks at 3, for whatever reason, and I just feel I'm in a difficult situation, I cannot be able to deliver. And this is all my limiting beliefs. My motivational thoughts come into play. I am reminded that I do this to help build one another. I am reminded that I do this as teachable moments. And I don't only do it during Tuesday Talks at 3. I do this in my training. I do this in my coaching. And every time that I am relating on a one-on-one with somebody and there's a teachable moment, I jump to it. And you know what I've realized? That these motivational thoughts are not only about helping somebody else to build them up or helping somebody else to teach them. I learn. And in my learning journey, I also unlearn and then I relearn. So there's abundance in the things that I am doing, in the abundance that I am sharing when it comes to having my own motivational thoughts. So what difficult situation are you in? And what do you need to come up with as a statement that is going to help you trudge through it and come out successful? And just like Wairimu has said here, thank you so much for engaging us. Wairimu, you say teachable moments. And you say success comes from failure. What is it that you need to experience on this journey of yours so that you can taste the sweetness of success? It may not turn out the way exactly you had envisioned it to turn out, but I tell you, the journey that you take is the success. It's not so much the destination, although this is my disclaimer. You need to have a destination so that we know in which direction we are going. But you need to enjoy the journey. Thank you so much for engaging with us. Wairimu, I'm exactly loving this engagement here today. The second one is the prompting that I have, experimenting with them. And for me, there are two, as I mentioned. There's the speaking and there's the vision. The vision is something very new for me, but there's the speaking my thoughts. I find that beyond thinking a thought, if I explain it to somebody, if I articulate it, if I am able to put words to it, I get super excited. So, if I have thoughts and I speak perhaps to a family member or to a friend or to a stranger where I'm networking, it begins to form like life in my mind. And I find that this for me is very motivational. So my thoughts are me speaking them out. This is what I want to do. So I look for these opportunities. And I'm just reminded that when I speak my thoughts, they become words because I'm speaking them. And these very words become actions. If you remember the first question that I asked in the beginning, or somebody asked me, what does motivational thoughts or thinking motivational thoughts do? It moves you into action. So here I am now saying that my thoughts, when I speak them, become words. And those words become my actions. And guess what? My actions become my habits. And I'm sure this is something that you would love to have. And I'm so happy to share this information with you and my thoughts. This is what Tuesday Talks is all about. So we are thinking motivational thoughts. And you too can be very creative on how you come up with your motivational thoughts. It is your own self-made recipe. When I feel unmotivated, I figure out things so that I can keep moving because I need to show up. Because not only are you learning, I'm learning also. So if so, that is a great motivational thought for you, that perhaps you are thinking of creating habits. But it could be something else. It could be that the soft life that I hear so much about now could be something that will help you move into action. So if it is the soft life thoughts that come to your mind, that wake you up and move you into action, then convert that into a motivational thought. Make a statement out of it and let it be that for you. Remember mine, so far I've shared 2 teachable moments, and I have shared helping to build one another. That's why I'm here. And therefore I will keep on showing up because this is what does it for me. And I get so fulfilled doing this. Yeah. So that is speaking. Now, if it is visual, and I said that for me visual is a new thing. Visual, for the first time, I tried out vision board beginning of this year. And I tell you, it is working wonders for me. So visual in being able to see something and seeing it all the time. On my laptop, I see my visual board because that's where I put it. I've not put it up on a wall or by my mirror. It's because my work is on my laptop. And therefore, seeing my vision board all the time is sending messages to my subconscious. And my subconscious then is sending messages to my consciousness. And those are my motivational thoughts that are coming forward. I see these pictures all the time. And when I see these pictures all the time, they help me to move into action. Maybe for you, it's something like a dare, where somebody comes and says, you are unable to do this. You cannot do this. Or like now maybe speaking to Wanjiru and saying, you don't have what it takes to offer this particular service. And only because you want to prove somebody wrong, that is why you do something. Hey, that's your motivational thought, guys. That whatever floats your boat. What we're looking and discussing here is thinking motivational thoughts. Thoughts that are going to get you into action. Thoughts that are going to move you away from just thinking wishfully into action. Into making things happen, which is so important. So in my case, as I shared my 2 motivational thoughts, and there are more, I'm only sharing those 2 for our sake of this session today. You must be able to look at what it does for you. For me, what it does, it answers to the gap in the community. The gap is what keeps me moving. How am I plugging into this gap? I want to transform one woman at a time. I want to transform one girl child at a time so that she can gracefully transition into society. That's what keeps me going. So if I'm having a mental block, I'm reading something and it's just not internalizing, it's just not clicking. My motivational thoughts come through and they get me going. And you know what? I find that I break that barrier and I deliver and I show up. So these are my motivational thoughts, and they are different to positive thinking and motivating quotes. And we're coming to the end of our session. I just thought I would throw in something extra there: incentives and rewards. If you were able to give yourself a reward at the end of a completion, that can be something that would motivate you. So you'd keep on saying, I will be able to get to that, which is your reward or incentive, once I finish doing this particular thing. So is it an assessment? Is it a contract? Is it a project? What is it that you need to be able to do? Is it the action plans that you have every day towards your goal? And then you have planned out a reward or an incentive for yourself. What is it that works for you? Remind yourself, and don't overthink it. It can be something as simple as doing your nails. It can be something as simple as taking 10 minutes to read something, to read a book. It could be something as simple as just putting your feet up and enjoying a cup of tea, a hot beverage. That is your reward. But you need to articulate the reward and then complete what you're doing, see the success, and then give yourself this reward. I love my herbal tea, and that for me is a reward after doing something. I love my walks. I know you've heard so much about my walks. In fact, when I finish here, I will go for my walk. That is my reward. That is my incentive. And therefore I say to myself, I am going for my walk after my Tuesday talks at 3. Those are my motivational thoughts. So, what is your difficult situation today? And what motivational thoughts can you apply that will keep on helping you to keep going? We're coming to the end, and in conclusion, visiting your future self, seeing yourself successful in that one thing that you're doing. It's such a difficult situation now, you don't even see the end of the tunnel or the light. You just want to be able to to visualize what the end would look like as a positive outcome. And that could be your motivational thought. What is it that is going to help you see the other side of this difficulty? Because it has provided me with scenarios that have presented themselves as gifts, as opportunities, as benefits, as positive outcomes. And I wish this upon you. Whatever difficult situation that you're in, that you will apply these 2 specific things that have worked tremendously in my life. Because when you ask yourself, what is the possible positive outcome from this difficult situation? And what would have to happen now to make it so? The answers to those questions will help you to think motivational thoughts. Well, here are the takeaways for the day. How to create or how to think motivational thoughts. You need to think of a possible positive outcome. Number 2, you need to experiment with different prompts. In my case, speaking and visualizing. Could be very different for you. And number 3, have a reward for successful completion. Thank you so much for being with me on Tuesday Talks at 3. This particular recording will be up on our YouTube channel, lmcconsultancy.com. And you definitely know what to do once you're there. You need to hit the notification button and hit the subscribe button so that you can get prompts on whatever it is that we're doing here on Tuesday Talks at 3. Now, we have our self-paced courses on our website, lmcconsultancy.com. I want you to hop on there and be able to have a look at develop self or discover self and customer service. Those are the sessions that we have on self-paced. We are looking at putting up recordings for that. For now, it is in soft copy content, and you want to jump in there and get yourself a certificate once you're done with the self-paced program. Our next episode is living on autopilot. Well, the big question is that existing or is that thriving? You don't want to miss the next episode. Please check out our social media platforms. That is TikTok, that is IG, Facebook, and LinkedIn for more information about living on autopilot. And let us help to build each other. Until then, Be kind to yourselves. Bye bye now.